Hello and welcome everyone. This is our Monday community call with the visionary leaders. My name is Arin Fugate. I'm one of the founding members of this community and we're so happy to be here with you today. So every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we gather on Zoom and for about 30 minutes, we talk about the essential oils, the MetaPower, all the wonderful doTERRA products. And then the second half of the call, we talk about sharing those products so you can earn some income, get your products paid for, and even build a beautiful residual income. So we are happy you're here and you are welcome. If you haven't already, check out all our resources on hellovisionary.life. We also put this as a podcast on all podcast channels and we upload it to YouTube. And we go live on Facebook. So wherever you are in your situation, you can listen in, you can listen to the recording. But we do invite you to join us live on Zoom because it's so nice to see your face and you are welcome to bring friends. Before we get into our subject today, we're going to do a grounding meditation with pink pepper. So pull out pink pepper if you have it. If you don't have pink pepper, just reach for whatever essential oil you have. You're welcome to take a sniff. It's such a bright, beautiful smell. And we know that pink pepper is really important for women, especially to support their breast health. And so it can be great to take internally. It can be great to massage during any kind of lymphatic drainage that you do. Some people like to add it to their dry brush and dry brush with it. But recently I was looking up oils and I was diving into pink pepper and I found that pink pepper is really great at regulating your nervous system. And personally, for me, being a mom of 2 young kids, this is really up. I've been doing a lot of breath work and kind of diving into nervous system regulation. So I wanted to bring that little tip to you. And what I'm going to invite you to do for the meditation is put a drop on the back of your neck. So it's getting into the spine and moving its way up into your brain. And then you're going to come into a comfortable position. It's great if you're seated, if your feet can be on the ground. And you're just going to bring that aroma up to your nose so we can take a few deep inhales of it. And what I want to invite you to do is to breathe in through your nose deep into your belly. And then when you breathe out, just let it gently come out your mouth, not pushing, just gently. And we'll do that a few more times. In through your nose, deep into your belly, filling your belly with air. And as you exhale really gently out your mouth. On the next inhale, you can actually imagine that essential oil traveling through your whole nervous system, asking it to calm and relax. And as you let the air out, releasing any tension, tightness in your body, maybe even telling yourself that you're safe. It's okay to relax and be here, letting go of your worries. We'll do one last inhale to our belly. And as you exhale, take your hands and just give yourself a little squeeze on the shoulders, maybe a nice hug. I like to touch my face, massage around my eyes. And let's end with hands on our heart, slowly opening our eyes to our beautiful community. And now we can be present and ready for the call. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to Aisha Harley and her friends to talk to us about the incredible experience they've had at the European doTERRA Convention. So take it away, Aisha.
Hello, everybody. I am delighted to be with you all. I am tuning in from the island of Leros, Greece. So for all of you on that side of the world, Kalimera, and for all of you on this side of the world, Kalimita. That's good morning and good evening. At the beginning of last month, there were 7 of us who met in Lisbon and went to all of our first doTERRA European convention. The European convention happens in the spring after our convention that happens in the fall. And I'm really excited because I have 2 of our visionary leaders with us today, Rebecca Saltman, who is tuning in from Lisbon, Portugal. She just moved over that way. And Katja, who is tuning in from Bern, Switzerland. And we're going to start the call with each of them sharing some of the highlights and their takeaways from our time together in Lisbon. So Rebecca, I'm going to pass the call on over to you.
Well, thank you, Aisha, and hello, everybody. I will follow Aisha's lead and say in Portuguese, bom dia to all of you in the US, which means good morning, and bom tarde or bom noche for all of us. It is now 6:08 p.m. for me here in sunny Lisbon. And it is sunny and warm, and it's delightful over here. So if anybody gets a chance to be here. I moved here in March, and before I moved here, was delighted to find out that the European convention that moves all over Europe just happened to be happening in Lisbon. And train stops, subway stops away from where I live. So it was a no-brainer for me to sign up right away, and actually had some conversations with Aisha and said, I'm gonna go. And even Diane, who's sadly not with us, but well, go, you're gonna go. So was so excited to be able to go and experience convention in an entirely new way. I want to say also that the last in-person convention I was at was in 2019. It was before the pandemic. It was before we were able to, like when we were able to be in person. And what was great about that one is that I even walked silver in that, at that convention, and was super excited. And it was so generative and delightful. And then not again. One of the other things that I was mentioning to Aisha is that I was so grateful to go to one of the visionary leaders gatherings, and it was small and our community was all together, and it was able to like really bring us all together in a way that I hadn't ever experienced anything from doTERRA, because my team is all over the place. And so I was able to like share with everybody in close proximity at the visionary leaders. And so when I went back to this convention, first of all, it like had that visionary leaders feel. It was like 6,000 of our best friends. And it was so warm. And, although, there's 30,000 people in Salt Lake, it was so 6,000 people is still a lot of people. And you were able to go and talk to anybody. Everybody was like friendly and together, and everybody was so excited to be together again. Although they did have one again last spring in person, this was like epic, and it was the biggest European convention they had ever had. So this was, I can't quite describe the feeling. If you haven't been to a convention, run, don't walk, sign up, because the sense of being together is so extraordinary. I have to say, personally, for me, the little bit smaller convention was really nice for me, and having that opportunity and the visionary leaders team being together is like an opportunity that you can't have in general business and so forth. So I just have to like promote that in any possibility, because this team is epic. I also want to say, like, for me, I'm part of doTERRA, not because, I mean, I'm a little bit an oddball, a little bit, because I'm part of doTERRA because I am totally addicted to the social impact of what this company does. I am knowing that you can look at the bottom of the bottle and you can know when it was planted and when it was harvested and who harvested it and when, and you know, like, is proof to me of the ethics and the extraordinary nature of this company. What was so extraordinary is that here in Portugal, they were talking, like, it was way upfront and personal, because some of these things are made here in Portugal, right? And they created a very special oil, a Portuguese oil specifically, because of the tastes and smells and so forth of Portugal. And it is insane delicious to use on fish or meat or whatever is your pleasure, vegetables. I've used like half the bottle and I've got it like 4 weeks ago. It's like amazing. And then I was also so inspired because what was really clear is that the community over here is still pretty new and growing, and that people are so excited to participate in a way that I don't have that flavor or texture. MLM isn't a thing. Like people aren't as like cranky about that in Europe. So if you have any opportunities to talk to family or friends or otherwise that live in Europe and want to talk to them about being, you know, like being involved or whatever, I can't tell you how exciting it is, because it's still so new and it's really not very dense. And the last thing I want to sort of bring in here is, again, because, you know, Healing Hands and CPTG and, you know, seed to bottle is so important to me. They also were talking directly about, and they had the people that had just been on this amazing trip to Africa. And they were talking about how Healing Hands has like put together hospital and like all of these different pieces. And they had the people that were organizing that activity all throughout Europe and Africa and so forth. And to just be in close proximity and be able to talk to those people about this work that is being done around the planet from this company that we are proud of was beyond the pale for me and so inspiring. And I'm just so grateful to have gone. I'm so grateful that Aisha came over. Katja, love you. And the other ladies that we met was extraordinary. So over to you, Aisha, or back to Katja.
Thank you, Rebecca, so much. I know I have to agree with you that there has been such a disconnection over these last several years, and the collective trauma and all the things. We don't need to go down that road. But one thing that I found to be so healing is the coming back together again, the reconnection. And as much as I love convention because of all of the education and getting that shot in the arm of inspiration, coming together with our community is such a gift. And seeing that we have community all over the world. There were some new leaders that we didn't even know from Lisbon that we met because we were there. And it was amazing to see the expanse of our visionary leaders community are literally spattered all over the world, and you have instant family and connection and friends. So that is something that is truly sacred and something that you really get to connect with and tune into when you come to these live events. So now we have Katja joining us from Bern, Switzerland. This was her, so I want to give you a little bit of background about Katja. I met Katja in Italy when I was traveling in the fall. And I was at a workshop and I was sharing doTERRA with everybody. And before I left for my trip, I set the intention that I wanted to find somebody in Europe that wanted to join my business. And I didn't say this to anybody. I just set that intention out into the world. And I let it be known that I was a doTERRA girl. So I definitely put that out there. And at the end of the workshop, Katja approached me and said, I've been using doTERRA for a couple of years, but I really want to join your team. And I said, fantastic. And I said, if you want to meet me in Lisbon, then I will meet you at the convention. So I want to thank Katja for saying yes, because that is what brought me back to Europe. And she's going to share with us some of her first time experiences because this was her very first convention. So I'm going to pass it over to you, Katja.
Yes, thank you, Aisha. I'm living in Switzerland, as you mentioned already, and here we say instead of good morning, guten Morgen, or good evening, guten Abend. But here in Switzerland, we speak even a special language, not High German, but Swiss German. Yeah. Yes, as Aisha mentioned, I am new in the doTERRA world, but I am not new in essential oils. I did aromatherapist education a long time ago. And when I met Aisha in Italy last year, I think I had nearly every essential oil from doTERRA. And I used them also, but now I realize I didn't get to know all the gifts that they have and all the things we can do with the essential oils. And so, yes, it was also really a gift to meet Aisha in Umbria. And I loved, and I will never forget how she shared an on-guard spray to us. And as I asked her what she's doing, what she's working, she said in such a lovely, proud voice, I am working for doTERRA. And I knew, oh, I have to connect with Aisha. Yes, and so I am really, really happy that Aisha empowered me to be a part of the convention in Lisbon. And I felt really so warmly welcomed as I arrived already. Some days before, I met Aisha and Rebecca and Diane, and we spent some days. And yeah, I felt already the deep connection, not only through doTERRA, but through the interest that we share. And I felt also this community, this strong community. Yes, and the Thursday, there was the Empowerment Day. And I had the chance to get to hear the stories, the personal stories from some leaders, which was really interesting. And the different countries that were present on the Empowerment Day were called out, and this was really also so. Yes, I was really surprised. So many countries are here. So many people from such a lot of countries are doing doTERRA as a business. This was really this impressed me really a lot. And then Friday and Saturday was the convention. And this was really a great experience for me. I never have had such an experience before. And the energy was really special. It was very empowering, very fun. And it was so nice to get to know the people that stand behind doTERRA. So I can now really imagine, I have really the picture of these people when they were talking about Meta Power or other new products. And it helps me really also to understand the value of the company. And as Rebecca mentioned, Healing Hands and the social impact of the company really is also very important for me. Here also I heard personal success stories from European leaders. And I met a lot of people through Aisha and Rebecca and Diane also, and it was so fun. I felt really I felt really like at home. It was really special, yeah. Yes, I left Lisbon with a deep gratitude to Aisha, but also to Rebecca and Diane and all the people that we met, and of course also to the whole company of doTERRA, which shared such a lot with us and also gave us or me a lot of gifts, not only what I got to know, but really really gifts that I can touch. Yeah, it was really a great experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Katja. So Diane was also with us. I think all of you know Diane Del Reyes. She had moved to Lisbon and now she's on an adventure in Sri Lanka. So it's late at night there. It was a little too late for her to join us, but she wrote something that I want to read to all of you. This is what she was going to share. What really struck me were the stories of overcoming adversity to create the business and life that everybody wanted. What struck me even more was how many times I've heard these similar stories inside my business in the United States within our home teams. And it really reminded me how we are all one. We are all humans having these experiences, wanting to serve and support other humans and to make a difference in the world. It also reminded me of the culture of doTERRA and how it translates in every culture globally, and how we all want the same things. We want to use these products to support our health, our family's health, and those we love, and to share it as much as we can in a way that fuels our souls. None of us are alone. Never be afraid to share one drop with one person. It will have a ripple effect, which I think we were just talking about. What really struck me were the stories of overcoming adversity to create the business and life that everyone wanted. What struck me even more was how many times I've heard these It also reminded me of the culture of doTERRA and how it translates into every culture globally, and how we all want the same things. We want to use these products to support our health, our family's health, and those we love, and to share it as much as we can in a way that fuels our souls. None of us are alone. Never be afraid. Okay, somehow that started to repeat. Sorry about that. But I think that was really such a powerful message, because whether we're in Europe or the United States, we really are one family. And by sharing these products, it is true that we have a ripple effect. And we have our convention coming up in September. Please put yay, I'm going in the chat if you've committed to going. But what I really want to speak to is that I know that a lot of us have really sunk into a hole and felt isolated and disconnected, and maybe even lost hope about our business and growing the business and our passion for doTERRA. I know that's certainly something that I've gone through. So if you're feeling that way, we want you to know that you're not alone. And the two things that have really helped me personally get back in the game was going to the convention last fall. Was such a boost in the arm that it set me off on this global adventure. And then I was so excited that, again, I went to the convention in the spring. So of course, you don't have to start traveling around the world unless you want to go to all the conventions. But we do really hope that you will join us live in Salt Lake City. Arin will be there, I will be there, Josie will be there, Ariana will be there, and we really want to see you. We really want to hug you. We really want to connect with you. And we really want to all get inspired and reconnected together. So We have lots of time to plan. Tickets are on sale now, and it is important to know that they are actually almost sold out. So if you're really on the fence about getting your ticket, please don't delay, because they will probably be sold out really soon. And I'm not just saying that, that is factual. I think everybody knows when doTERRA says something's almost sold out, they're not kidding. So thank you all. I'm going to pass the call over to Arin, and she's going to talk to us about social selling.
Thanks, ladies. That sounds like such a great experience. I think bucket list item is to go to a doTERRA convention in another country for sure.
Well, let me just add this. Next year, it's in Italy.
All right. That sounds great.
We're in Italy. Yum.
Yeah. So, I'm just curious who on the live Zoom is actively wanting to earn some income or free product from doTERRA. I'd love for you to put your hand up, do an emoji, put it in the chat. And it can be, you know, at any level. But if you would like to get an income from doTERRA, this part of the call is for you. And, you know, I really hope that's a yes from everyone. And I would invite us all to have that be the culture of doTERRA. When we introduce people to the oils and the products and MetaPower and all that stuff, if we don't make it easy for them to share and get a paycheck, we're doing a disservice. And it doesn't mean that they have to go off and be like Aisha, right? And traveling the world and going to 2 conventions a year. Not at all. But everybody that we introduce to these products does have the opportunity to share them, and it can be really easy to share them and earn an income. Whether it's $150 a month, so it's paying for your monthly order, or it's a couple $1,000s a month and it's paying for your mortgage, or it's tens of thousands of dollars a month and it's actually building generational wealth. We just want to make sure that everybody has access to that. And part of accessibility is ease. So something that has always been frustrating to me, because I am the type of person that I like to get things done. I like to get to the point and I like to get things done, right? I am not someone who enjoys going through a 10-hour course. I am not someone who enjoys reading a reference book front to back. When I first met Aisha and I was building the business, when she learned about the tear pads for classes, she was like, Arin, why did you tell me about these tear pads? I was like, oh, I hate tear pads. I don't use them. So I have this personality where like, I like things to be really efficient. I like them to be fast and easy. And I don't like to get stuck in a lot of the muck and the mire. So that is my skill and my superpower that I'm going to bring you today, but specifically over the whole month of June, because on June 27th, and you might want to mark this in your calendar, I am going to start a 7-day social selling challenge. And all that means is we're going to have a little Zoom webinar that will be recorded, and I'll go into more details around what social selling is and what the challenge is all about. And then for 7 days, we're all going to practice together using our social media to sell our products. So I'm going to start talking about this now so that those of you that come to this live Zoom or listen to the podcast, you can get a head start on this, and you can even start to invite your team members. So I love social selling so much. I love it so much because I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and my husband has a busy real estate business, and I'm a leader in doTERRA. So I don't have a lot of time. Like when people are setting up booths at trade shows, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. How do you have that much time to like get the booth together and set it all up? And so cute. When people are able to have in-person classes, I'm like, oh gosh, I really wish I could have in-person classes, but it just doesn't make sense with me and my kids right now. So what social selling does for me is I am able to share my experience with the products, and using a few very simple sales techniques, I am actually able to enroll people via my DMs, meaning my Facebook Messenger or my Instagram Messenger. And so I would like to start to share with you all some of the things I've learned over the years of doing this so that you can also incorporate it into the way you share doTERRA. Doesn't have to be the only way you share doTERRA, right? I still enroll people person to person. I look forward when both my kids are in school and I can have consistent live classes again, but this is a tool to have in your toolbox and to start to implement into your business. And more importantly, it is actually the easiest way for a customer to share and get a paycheck. Because a customer is not likely to go and learn the whole compensation plan or completely learn how to teach a class, right? A customer has other things going on in their life, but they love the product and they would share with friends. And if they could earn a paycheck, I don't know a person, I'm sure there's some people, but I don't know a person who would say no to getting $100 paycheck in the mail because they shared some product. Do you guys know people that would say that? It was easy enough, right? The reason they say no is if it's hard. If they're like, oh yeah, they have to go to a training and they have to have a class, then they'll start to be like, it's too much, it's too hard. But if we make it super simple for them and it's baked into our culture, then they're going to be so happy when it hits their bank account and they're going to be like, what? doTERRA is paying for telling people about this product? I tell people about this product anyways. So this is kind of two-part that we're going to be talking about through the month of June is one, how do you, as someone who wants to earn a commission with doTERRA, share, do social selling, a social selling model. But two, how do you set it up in a way so that when you enroll someone in doTERRA, they know how to very easily share it online. So I'd love for you to drop any questions that you have in the chat as it comes up, because I definitely want to address it, but I'm going to give you some overall like big picture look at what this looks like, and then also something that you can practice this week, and we can come back next week and talk about it. Okay, so first of all, everybody is on social media these days, right? People are on social media. You have the ability to reach from your social media somebody in a completely different country from you, somebody that you would have never met otherwise. There is so much potential for connection and meeting new people on social media. Now, there are a lot of social media platforms. So this is one philosophy that I'm going to encourage you to do, and it's to pick one. Don't try to be on all of them, at least until you've mastered one. So pick one, and I would recommend you pick the one where you already hang out. So put it in the chat. What's your favorite social media platform at the moment? Do you like Facebook? Do you like Instagram? Do you like Pinterest? Do you like TikTok? Do you like YouTube? Okay, I'm here in Facebook, Instagram, Facebook. And that's important. Like, what's the one that you like to be on? What's the one you consume? I want us to start to not be consumers of social media, but this is kind of where you start. Which one do you like to consume? Where do you enjoy? So we're hearing lots of Facebook, lots of Instagram. That's great. And what's cool about Facebook and Instagram is they do interconnect. So next level, once you've kind of gotten the hang of one, you can connect your accounts. So every time you post to Instagram, it automatically posts to Facebook, which can be nice. But that's a little higher level. We don't have to worry about that now. So you're going to pick one social media account. The second concept that you really want to think about is the idea that your feed, so if you're on Facebook, your wall, if you're on Instagram, your feed, that is the place where you are sharing not necessarily a ton about the doTERRA product. You can do some, and I'll teach you how to do that, but what that's really about is you're sharing either about your life, your personal brand, who you are as a person, or a niche. So what a niche is is a niche is a very specific subject you like to talk about. Maybe you love talking about cooking, or you're a big foodie and you're always trying new restaurants and you're always trying new dishes. And when you travel, it's all about the food. So that would be a niche. Maybe you're a dog mom and you love to share pictures of your dog. You love to take your dog places. You love to dress your dog up cute. That would be a niche. You don't have to pick a niche, but having a niche is very powerful, because then you are attracting a specific type of person. When they come to your profile or your wall, they know what you're about. They know what they're going to get from you. And it can help you build. So if you already know what your niche is, if that's something you've already thought about, please put it in the chat. I would love to know. It's okay if your niche changes. You can do a season of one thing and then switch it up at a different point. That's totally fine. If you're not sure about what your niche is, that's okay. Your niche is you. We're going to start with you. You are your niche. Your face is your niche. I think this is one of the things that can be the most difficult about social media for some people, is being seen, being visible. And it is important that you let yourself be seen, that you let people get to know you. So if that's kind of where you're starting with, if you just got in the habit of posting a picture of yourself every couple of days and telling us what you're up to in your life, that's going to produce really, really good results. So if you're noticing, ooh, I'm not ready to be seen, I would recommend you start there. If you're already ready to be seen and you've been posting videos and pictures, then let's start to think about a niche. But people definitely want to know you, and they buy from people that they like, know, and trust. So the more that you can present yourself on your wall or your feed, the more people are going to be like, oh, Sarah, that's Sarah. I recognize her face. I like her smile. I like what she posts about. But if you're not posting your face, you're not posting your smile, then I go to your feed and I go, I don't know who this person is. This isn't a real person. They're not they can feel it. We can feel it. We can feel that you're not fully bringing yourself to the table. So when you're wondering what to post on your feed, just think about that. Think about sharing who you are, what you love. Share pictures of yourself, share videos of yourself, until you get to a point where you go, I know what I'm talking about. So some people put great things in the chat: cooking, women's pelvic health, metabolic health, women over 50, performance improving lifestyle, whole foods. So Sarah, I would encourage you to get more specific. Like, you're talking to women over 50 who have back pain, or you're talking to athletes who had an injury and they want to get back. So more specific there. So once you start to know what your niche is, what you're talking about, then that's what you're posting about. But it doesn't have to be, and I would encourage you to not make it all about doTERRA or the products on your feed. On your feed, you want it to be educational in general about the niche. You want it to be entertaining. It can make people laugh, show your personality, and be as outrageously you as you can. There's so much noise in social media, and there's so many people that are just cookie cutters of the same thing. Be somebody that stands out. You know, if you love, I'm thinking of Dr. Josie, if you love wearing different colored funky glasses, make it a point to share your funky glasses. Wear different funky glasses every time you go live. If you're someone that's got like that pet niche and you're always buying your dog funny outfits, tell people about that. Show people that. If you're someone that loves to swear, swear. Don't be all professional and like try to hide who you are. If you're someone who loves God and you're very religious, share that. If you're someone who is highly political, share that. Like, it's actually good to be a expanded version of who you really are. And don't be afraid to do something that's kind of like, whoa, make people ask themselves, do I actually want to follow her? because then the people who follow you are so there for you and who you are that they become your raving fans. It's actually okay to put some people off, because the people who are attracted to your authentic, quirky self are going to be really attracted to it. So that's your feed. You're educating people, you're entertaining people, you're showing your personality, you're talking about your niche. If you don't have a niche, you're just talking about your life. And then where you make the sales is in your stories. Is there anyone here that doesn't know what a story is? Please put it in the chat so we can be sure to talk that through. So on Instagram, you've got your feed. That's all the little squares, right? And then your story is this roving reality show of your life. And it's in your little icon of your head. And they only last for 48 hours. So when you put a story up, the people who are watching your story, they're already leaning in. They're already going, okay, Florence is cool. I like Florence. I like what she's about. I've been following her. And now I want to know what Florence is really about. Now I want to see Florence in her garden. Now I want to see what Florence ate for breakfast. I know it seems crazy, but it's true. I want to see what Florence, bought at the grocery store. I want to see what Florence is reading. So this is your reality show. They're like leaning in. You don't have to be perfect there. It doesn't have to be pretty. Don't worry about like if you have makeup on or not. Just show the real reality of your life. And a great way to think about it is it's almost like a savings account. For every maybe 10 slides that you share about your life, like your real life, even just going face to camera and telling someone how you're doing, a lesson you learned or a problem you're having, for like every 10 slides in your story that you do that buys you the opportunity, the permission, the ability to sell something. Because the people who are watching your story, they're invested in you. They like watching you. They've learned about your life. So when you come in and you say, hey, I've been drinking this youth elixir every morning and here's what it's done for me. If you want to buy some, here's my link. The people who've been watching you, they're going to be like, oh, cool. She just told me about a cool product. Click, I'm going to go buy it. Is this making sense? Is it bringing up any questions or any fears? Okay, so yes, Sarah, was there something that came up? Fear. Yeah, totally. Fear of being seen, fear of what they will think. I get it. It totally happens to me too. The thing to remember is the people watching your stories, that's part of why our feed is just about, us and our niche, but our stories is where we sell. The people who are watching your stories, they want to be there. And they know that you sell something. It's not like you walked into their house and you're not knocking on their door trying to get them to buy something. They're in your house. They came into your house and they see something on your counter that you love and they click to go buy it. So we have to remember that distinction. That's why we do it in our stories, not necessarily on our feeds. So something that can be like, oh, I don't know what to do with content, what to come up with. One thing that I can give you permission if you need it is your stories where you sell, they can be repurposed. You can have your meta power slides. So you might have like 3 slides in your stories for meta power. And maybe your first slide is a picture of you smiling and you say something like, I've never felt better, or maybe it's a side-by-side before and after like Aisha has of how her face and her skin has changed. Then the next slide is you making your meta power, a little video with some things about what meta power does. And then the third slide is click here to buy yours now. If there's a promo going on or something, you can share about that. And you could actually repurpose that. You could insert those slides every 10 or 12 personal shares, and you don't even have to worry about remaking it. This is one reason. Yeah, I shall come to you in just a second. This is one reason that I recommend, if you want to take full advantage of the doTERRA product line and business opportunity, is that you pick an entry point. So a great entry point would be the Natural Solutions Kit. A great entry point would be the Daily Habits Kit plus MetaPower. Some people, the entry point would be MetaPower, but think this through. What's the most ideal way that you would have someone enter into the doTERRA lifestyle? What collection of products would you have them get? And then that's what you sell in your stories. And you just focus on selling that thing. And so you're sharing your life, you're sharing about your niche. Every 10 stories, sell that thing, sell that thing, sell that thing. Then once they buy that thing, then you take them on the whole doTERRA journey. But sometimes a reason we don't post is creativity. Like, we lose our creativity. We're like, I don't know what to post today. So make it more systematic. Make it something that's a clear pathway for people, because they're going to get confused too. If you're feeling like, oh, I can't come up with something new, they're probably feeling like, I don't really know what she's selling here. Okay, please go ahead, Aisha.
Oh, I just wanted to share a tip that I heard a long time ago that was really helpful for me, because I've always been super shy about sharing my own life on social media. And it's been something, as Arin knows, that's taken me, I'm still shy actually, but one tip that I want to pass on to all of you is that think about the things that you do every day that you don't even think about, that I think sometimes we don't realize the knowledge that we have, or something that we do, or a self-care tip, or a smoothie that we make, or a certain way that we use our essential oils that we literally just do and don't think about it. But that tip could be super, super valuable for somebody else. So think about just the everyday things you do in your life with your essential oils from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, and you can start sharing stories around just those things that you do, that you take for granted, that you don't even think about. And that can be a good way to get yourself going.
Yeah, I love that you're pointing that out, so, and not just essential oils. Like, do you have a daily reader? When you wake up in the morning, do you have a book that you read for inspiration? Post a picture of the page you read this morning. When you wake up, do you have coffee on your front porch, or do you prefer tea? Or do you get up at 5:30 and go to the gym? What is your morning ritual? Share that. Do you love fashion? Share your, get ready with me. Make a little video of yourself picking out your outfit for the day. All these things that we think are mundane and nobody would care about are actually very perfect, because what you're doing is you're bringing people into your life. You're bringing people in to help build that trust factor. And I know it's weird, because it's like there's these people watching you, becoming friends with you, and you don't know them. It's totally weird, but I have personally met some of my best friends on social media. And so sure, there's people that maybe I'm not connecting with, they're not reaching out to me, they're just kind of watching. But there are people who are like my soul sisters. And we met on social media, and we have a friendship where we've never met in person, but the day we do, we're like buddies. Yeah, go ahead, Aisha.
A really awesome tip that was shared at the Empowerment Day in Lisbon is that on Instagram and maybe on Facebook as well, you can see all the people that are watching your stories. And so as you begin to recognize what friends are following you, or there's somebody new, you can go to their page and check them out, and also send them a thank you for watching your story. Start watching their stories and use that as a way to start a natural dialogue and start building a relationship with them. If you see like different people that are continually following you, then that's a great way to reach out and say, hey, thanks for watching my stories, and start an organic conversation about what you have to offer.
Yeah, that's so great. I mean, we often forget that it's social media. It's social. That's what it is. It's like, it's getting to know people and it's connecting with them, which can be overwhelming. I don't recommend that you spend your whole day on social media. So you do time blocks, right? You might give yourself a 15-minute time block where you go in and you look at who's been watching your story and you write them some messages, but then you put it away. Don't spend the whole time there, but definitely. And that's how sales are made. So I'll give you a few examples of things, you know, that have happened to me in the DMs. So I have definitely had it happen where people reach out and go, what is that? I want to know about that, right? And that's super easy. I send them the sizzle video and then I follow up with them. I might add them to the Wellness Simplified group. And when they want to purchase, I send them a link to purchase. But sometimes what happens is people are responding to my stories. Then I do what Aisha said, where I'm also interacting with their stories. And we begin to build a relationship. And maybe they invite me to come on their podcast, or they invite me to go live in their Facebook group, or they give me a referral. So that can also happen just from those interactions. And then sometimes it happens where I see someone struggling with an issue that I know my product can solve. And I can also reach out to them and go, are you open to learning about something that helps? Now, a key component in all of this is our sizzle videos. Is there anyone who doesn't know about the sizzle videos yet? Okay, Linda, I'm going to share my screen to show you. We have these sizzle videos on. Okay, you see my YouTube? On a YouTube channel. This is an unlisted channel, so you want to copy and save this link and put it in your notes. So meaning other people can't see it unless they are sent the link. We have a lot of video options here. The ones that I want you to know about specifically are why we love essential oils, lifelong vitality pack, and about MetaPower. These are short videos, 11 minutes or less. And so when I am talking to someone, dependent upon what I've, selling them, if I'm selling them oils, LLV, or MetaPower, once they are interested, they're showing curiosity, then I say, would you be open to watching a short video? And this is my way of teaching a class. So I'm not inviting them to a class. I'm not necessarily getting on the phone with them one-to-one, because again, as a mom, I just don't have time to do that. I am using my social media as the place where I build awareness and even some education. And then when they're curious, I say, would you be willing to watch this short video? If they say yes, I send them the link to the video. And then a couple days later, I follow up with them. And the follow-up is, what did you think? Did you watch the video? What did you think? And they're either going to have a positive, negative, or neutral reaction. If it's a positive reaction, I ask them if they would like to go ahead and get their oils or their MetaPower. And then I'm going to send them an enrollment link. If they have a negative, no problem. It's a no problem at all. If they have a neutral, I'm going to say, would you like to go ahead and get some? And I send them the link. And so this all happens in the DMs, and it all hinges upon these sizzle videos. If you haven't watched them, go watch them. They're fabulous. They're so helpful. And I would love for you, Aisha, to tell us a little bit about anything you've had happen or how you like using the sizzle videos.
Yes, I would love to share. Well, I've been sharing, I am a complete MetaPower devotee, if you haven't figured that out already. I love what MetaPower has done for my own life, what I'm seeing it doing for other people. And so I'm really focusing a lot in my Instagram about metabolic health, and I'm sharing other people's testimonials, and I'm continuously weaving meta power into my stories. So it's helped me with jet lag. Here I am at this restaurant about to eat a piece of cake, and I'm taking my meta power assist with it. Like just things like that, just things that are happening along the way. And I have had people that have known that I've been with doTERRA for 13 years who have never bought anything from me become very interested in meta power. And I have shared the sizzle videos with them and then followed that up with a quick link from my back office. You know, you can go in and make that quick link with the kit in it and send that to them. And then you send them the follow-up video of how to use their meta power with one of the graphics. And then from there, you can show them how to set up their LRP with the video. And all of this is happening via chat. So there's not a phone call. There's none of that happening, and people are taking action, and I'm checking in with them via chat, and I'm just keeping it super casual. But I hadn't had enrollments for quite some time. And when I started doing that in the fall after convention, because I was especially pumped from going to convention and really learning about it and then starting to take it, and literally my enrollments have started to come in again, which is super exciting and is really giving me a great boost to be enrolling again. And also over here in Europe, we just actually enrolled somebody today that again has known that I've been with doTERRA for 13 years, and she just enrolled this afternoon. So there really is something about that continual sharing, and also not being afraid to share other people's testimonials. We have the Wellness Simplified group, and I just take a screenshot of a testimonial, because those testimonials that we've shared, people that are sharing those have given permission for those stories to be shared, and copy and paste that into your story with a wow or look at this. And then also in that story, you can create your quick link. And in Instagram, there's an area where you say add your link, and you can drop your link into the story so they can click on that link from the story and it takes them right to that shop page. So if you don't know how to do that, reach out or ask somebody that you know knows Instagram, but learn how to do some of those super easy things, because people, when they want something, they want it now, right? And you can just drop that link, and I'll just drop that link in throughout the story. And then also, just the last thing I'll add is you can pin stories to your highlights. So I have on my Instagram page a story of all the testimonials. And every time I add a testimonial to the story, I pin it to the highlight. And I was teaching a class, actually just yesterday, we did a little class here on the island, and I pulled up the stories and I said, hey, check out all of these meta power testimonials. I want to show them to you. And I had them right there, super easy access. So if you just get in that habit of some of those techniques, then that also is really helpful.
Yeah, great shares. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this the whole month of June. We're going to have that 7-day challenge starting June 27th. And the best way to get all the information about that is to join the Social Selling, Visionary Leaders Social Selling Challenge Facebook page. I'll put it in our chat, and we will add it to the email that goes out. That's kind of where everything is housed. There are videos from the challenge I did last year. If you want to be a high achiever and go watch those videos, you can, or you can kind of wait for the next challenge. What I would recommend you start working on this week, because we want to go slow with this, especially if it's something that scares you. You don't want to overwhelm your nervous system. Speaking of nervous systems, at the beginning of the call, if you try to make too big of changes or put yourself out there too fast, your body will get afraid. So we want to slowly ease into this and get used to it. So this week, your assignment would be to post one selfie. I want you to take a picture of yourself. You could do a video if you prefer. And a selfie is not a headshot. A selfie is like right now in the moment. Right now in the moment, me talking to all my friends. Selfie, okay? So it doesn't have to be perfect, right? That's what I mean. That kind of selfie. You're just doing something. Aisha's doing it right now. If you have your phone, do it right now. Take a selfie of you on this Zoom training. This is something you can share on your social media. So I want you all to share one selfie today. And if you are taking a picture right now, great, you have content right now. You can go and post that and you can say, I was on an incredible training today. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more on social media about my blah, blah journey. You enter it. I was on a great training today. I'm giving you content right now, you guys. So if you're like, I don't know what to post, I'm telling you what to post right now. I was on a great training today, learning about all these amazing things about my health and my business. And you're going to be hearing a lot more from me on social media about my metabolic health journey, about my menopause journey, about my business journey, whatever it is that you're going to be sharing about. And you kind of just put this on your wall or your feed. So that's one part of the assignment for this week. The second part of the assignment is to post a picture every day in your stories about your morning routine. So whether it's you drinking a cup of coffee, it's you putting oils on, it's you drinking your MetaPower, it's you going for a walk, it's you going to the gym, it's you cooking breakfast, it's you meditating, whatever it is, something you do in the morning as a part of your morning routine. And I want you to post that in your stories. If that feels good, do it every day. If one time this week is the most that you can do that. And then next week, we'll dive a little bit more into selling in your stories so we can get used to that. Okay, well, I'm excited to be sharing this with all of you, and go ahead and drop, like if we're not following each other on social media, we should all follow each other. So go ahead and put whatever your name is on Instagram. I will put mine.
Erin, how about
Yeah.
if we start a thread on the Visionary Leaders Facebook group so everybody can put their links there? And then what I would also encourage everybody to do, because this is really helpful, is to go in and when somebody posts something on their wall, give it some hearts, give it some likes, and start actually watching each other's stories, because that's going to just help the algorithms bump things up. And so it's a wonderful thing to support one another in our posts. So it can be a few hearts, it can be a smiley face, you know, just a little something to show your support for everybody's efforts. So why don't we start, we'll put a post, I'll go in and do that. Okay, perfect. And then drop your link in there and then you can go in and follow everyone.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great week.
Thank you, Kalinita.
Good night.
Good night.